Are the Mets the hottest team in baseball right now in New York? Well, man, the New York Mets are literally destroying the Yankees in series, the Subway Series. They literally swept the New York Yankees, guys, for the first time since 2013. I mean, you can't say enough about the New York Mets and what the energy is with the New York Mets and how's everything's playing out with this team. But the fact that the Mets are just hot right now, and the New York Yankees, were just cold. They had their best pitchers. They had Garrett Cole, they had Luis Gill, the two aces in their team, and the Mets had Sean Manaea and the Quintana. But the Mets ended up winning game one, guys, 3-2. And then in the second game, they ended up winning 13, 12-3. So just in general, when it comes to the Mets, guys, that was really, really big for the Mets to get a sweep of the New York Yankees for the first time since 2013. It's crazy to me that, we're even the Mets are even in this position right now because they were not doing good, in May, but then in June they got hot, and then ever since they just been really, really good. Ever since Mark Vientos has come into this lineup. Francisco Alvarez has come back, and JD Martinez has, been in this lineup. This team has just been doing really, really good, Ben. But you can't say enough about what Francisco Lindor, has done with this team. For the Subway Series, definitely hitting two bombs, in yesterday's games. That's just something that is really good for Lindor, really good for the energy, really good for the team. You saw that Lindor, had a good time with his family. Literally had his daughter, and his wife right there beside him by the dugout. That was just beautiful, beautiful to watch. But man, you just can't say much about Francisco Lindor, honestly. Like, what a great job that Francisco Lindor did. He's really becoming a true like captain, for the New York Mets, and that is something that the Mets have been missing, for some time. But Francisco Lindor is just killing it, But good on the Mets for winning this series. This was a huge, huge win for the New York Mets, and to beat the New York Yankees. I know that the New York Yankees aren't doing well. They have a lot of injuries, but just in general, if you're sweeping a team, you got the first two games, you demolished them in City Field, and then you come to Yankee Stadium in the Bronx and you win game one, and it was a close game. Jake Diekman literally got the close, the save, and he struck out Aaron Judge in a big situation. Sometimes you get lucky. It is what it is. But the second game, the Mets absolutely demolished. Mark Vientos is just killing it right now. The Mets lineup is just so well constructed, when they have all their guys healthy. So I love this team. I love what the Mets are doing. And I am very, very excited to see what's to come, And now the Braves are moving on. The Mets are going to be moving on to face the Braves. And, when it comes to the Braves, that is something that we will see. But this team, guys, I want to talk about this team and this lineup because this lineup is getting dangerous, guys. Dangerous. This lineup is really getting dangerous. You got Francisco Lindor. You got Jeff McNeil getting really, really hot. He's looking like a really good Jeff McNeil right now. Ever since he's changed his approach to not be a slap hitter and be a guy that just wants to hit the ball hard, get the barrel on the ball, you see what he has done. He's hit 4 home runs, in his recent games. In Yankee Stadium, he got one as well. He had 3 home runs in Miami. So Jeff McNeil is hot right now. He's hitting the ball hard, and he's hitting for power, which is huge. But Vientos is killing it. Vientos is really one of the most dangerous guys in this lineup. I think the most dangerous man other than Lindor in this lineup, because Mark Vientos is a guy that you make a mistake, he's gonna get you. He's gonna hit it out, and I really love it. I love what Mark Vientos has become for this team. What type of symbol he's become for this team. And ever since Mark Vientos been in this lineup, Francisco Alvarez, JD Martinez, everybody's just been clicking. And, you can't say much about this lineup because this lineup is so, so good, man. I love it. When they're clicking, they can beat anyone. And JD Martinez, yes, he's been struggling, but, he's coming around. I'm not worried about JD Martinez because he's a professional hitter. He hasn't hit a home run in some at-bats, but I will say JD Martinez is just his presence, just having him in the lineup is completely huge for the New York Mets. And Francisco Lindor, like I said, man, he showed up in this series, 2 home runs. Guy was clutch in big situations. Francisco Lindor is proving to be a really, really good player, man. He's really playing out of his mind right now. 20 home runs. He has the home run lead. That's just it's something that to be respected when it comes to Francisco Lindor. And I love it. I honestly love it. I really do. I love what Francisco Lindor is doing. I love the vibes of this team. The OMG, the Jose Iglesias, just having him on this team and having that song OMG, having the sign OMG, having Grimace, whatever you want to call it. The vibes of this team is just something to be just really appreciated, because the Mets haven't had these vibes, ever since 2015. And with this team, not knowing whether they're going to be in the playoffs or not. The beginning of the season started out horrible, 0-5, and now you're literally, you have a really good record. And I'm just really excited. I'm really excited about this team. Very, very excited. So, now, we got the Braves. The Braves is going to be a tough matchup, guys. The Braves is going to be a very, very tough matchup. The Mets are going to be going against Chris Sale, and Chris Sale is 13-3 right now. You got Luis Severino on the mound, but Chris Sale has been killing it. And, 13-3 is definitely to be respected. Chris Sale was a low risk, high reward guy, and he's really turned out to be a really great starter for the Atlanta Braves. But the Atlanta Braves have suffered a lot of injuries, which is, honestly great for the Mets that, Ronald Acuna is not in this lineup, but Ozzy Albies is not in this lineup, So those type of guys not having, not being in the Braves lineup is huge for the Mets. And the Braves are literally losing games. They're on a losing streak, and the Mets are on a winning streak. So this is a golden chance for the Mets to take advantage, a real golden chance. And I feel this is the time. You have to make this, you have to do what you have to do. You got to take care of business. This is a 4-game series against the Braves. You got Senga, you got Severino, and this is going to be a big, big series for the New York Mets. I just hope that the Mets can, put the pounding to the Braves, honestly, because that would be great for the Mets. They're only 1.5 games back of the wild card. So we will see what happens with the New York Mets, but I'm just going to say I love the vibes. I love what's going on with this team. And the fact that they swept the New York Yankees, in the Subway Series in 4 games. Yes, it was 4 games, but now you're going to be facing the Braves. You got your attention on the Braves. And if you get past the Braves, you don't know what the Mets are going to become. Maybe I'm not saying that they're going to catch up to the Phillies, but man, if the Mets play well, they go on a streak, they're going to be dangerous. I love this lineup. Obviously, the division is probably not going to be won by the New York Mets because of the Phillies being so hot, being a great team. But the New York Mets are really showing something, in 2024. And the vibes in 2024 is amazing. Like I said, 2015, there was amazing vibes. This seems to be, they got team chemistry. They got energy. They have so much. So you got Severino that's going to be facing Chris Sale. Severino's been on point. Severino has been a good pitcher all year. Honestly, Severino's definitely, what a bounce back season he's having. And then you're gonna have Senga later, in Friday's game. So there's a lot to love when it comes to the New York Mets, the vibes of the Mets, what's going on with the Mets. And I just gotta say, I love what's going on. I hope that the Mets continue this momentum, because this is something that you want to continue. You want to keep this going, and I hope that they do. So Kodai Senga is going to be starting Friday. You got Luis Severino starting in today's game. We will see what happens, but I've just got to say, thank God that Luis Severino has been pitching really, really good for this team, and he's picked up, this team. He's been basically this team's ace, and obviously we knew that Kodai Senga went down before spring training, and we didn't know what this pitching rotation was going to be. But now having Kodai Senga coming back, that is going to be huge for this team. And I hope that it just makes this momentum just go even further. I want the momentum to continue. Now it's going to be the Braves. It's going to be tough. They're not going to be easy. It's the Braves. The Braves are a good team. Even though they got injuries, they still got Austin Riley. They still got Marcell Ozuna. They still got those guys. So there's definitely a lineup to be respected when it comes to the Braves. Obviously, they do not have Ronald Acuna and they do not have Ozzy Albies, and Max Fried is also injured as well. But when it comes to the Mets, you got to win these games. These are very, very important games, and the Mets have a golden chance. So honestly, we will see what happens. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed the video, definitely do me a favor, leave a like, comment, subscribe. All things Mets, where you get your latest Mets media. And I'm out of here, y'all.